Today, more from our property insider, Edwin Almeida. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Welcome to our latest post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. And today I'm joined again by our property insider, Edwin Almeida. Hello Edwin, how are you going?
Well, I'm going so far so good, Martin. I'm still alive. So
that's always a good start.
Yeah, you keep moving, and they say if you keep moving, they can't hit you. So moving around.
So it's already looking like 2019 is going to be a pretty turbulent year. All of the leading data that's coming out already, rentals are down, property prices are beginning to slide. Listings seem to be down a bit, but looks as though that could change now as more people come off leave and back into the market again.
Yeah, but if I can just take that point on there, Martin.
Yeah.
Interesting. Up to the beginning of December, we were tracking close to 33,000 live listings on market. Between then and now, there's been a reduction of about 6,000 listings. And the interesting thing is that, however, is that the buyers' activity has even decreased in some areas of Sydney, from what my colleagues tell me. Some stayed open over the Christmas break, to take advantage of the fact that a lot of offices closed down. But it has been remarkably very, very slow, and it has slowed down, although the numbers have been down. Now, this week alone, Martin, I've been informed by a number of colleagues around Sydney, once again, that in some cases, some of them have already done 6 or 7 market appraisals in 1 week. So it's going to ramp up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I believe we're going to see a surge, and we will break that 30,000 barrier on domain. As I said before, that's my baseline.
Yeah, it's interesting. My surveys, which up until about the 20th of December, I asked questions about people's intention to put their properties in the market, right? And there was a significant surge, particularly from property investors, but also down the Western Sydney area, of people saying that they are going to list as they move into January. So I would agree with that. I think the next couple of weeks we'll see a lot of property coming back on the market. The same in Victoria as well, particularly around some of the Melbourne suburbs. But interestingly, there's also the same trend now emerging up in Brisbane as well. So I think we are going to see a lot of listings.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, I went a little bit early with the panic, all panic stations with the investor side of things, with the interest-only mortgage holders, and things are changing. The government tried to throw in a few lifelines to the point where even our treasurer, broke the law somewhat. Hey. All's fair in love and politics and the economy, I guess, something like that.
Well, certainly a lot of interesting perspectives, and people all, of course, with different views as to what's going on and what should be going on. We might a bit later touch on Olympic Park again, but let me just touch on this question, because it's one I get quite a lot from people who are thinking about listing their property. They basically, the question is, once they've found an agent, and we covered that in a previous post, how much work should they go into preparing their property for listing? Should they believe the TV shows where they've got to sort of swap out their normal furniture and put show furniture in, small show furniture, redecorate? What's your view in terms of how much preparation should people do?
Oh, look, get rid of the kids, pets, and your husband or your wife, whichever one has the power on that. Look, I've broken it down over the years, and I've got a number of videos from many years back. I've broken it down to 3 areas. Preparation, presentation, and the marketing campaign. They're the fundamental principles, the 3 fundamental principles. Preparation, particularly now, Martin, because of the fact that anything that's going to be done major. Look, I'm conservative, and I'm going to say that I wouldn't go as far as replacing going to a full-on renovation, because you're not necessarily going to get your money back. You could very well overcapitalise. A simple, soft makeover does the trick. And this may just be cleaning the driveway, pressure cleaning the driveway, pressure cleaning the roof tiles. How many people pressure clean the roof tiles in the lifespan that they spend in a home? Very few. But yet that's such an appealing point. Let's not forget that, as we've said before, a lot of buyers buy on what? On emotion. They get emotionally attached. And they're the buyers that you want. They're your dream buyers. The ones that get emotionally attached, then they will stretch the budget a little bit more in order to secure the property. So you want to make sure that you've established that emotional relationship with them from the time that they step out of the car or step through the front gate. So a soft, gentle makeover is as far as I would go. Could just be cleaning the carpets, a fresh coat of paint. And let's also remember that the person that's buying a home as a principal place of residence, particularly, they may not necessarily like the colour of the carpet that you have chosen, or the colour of the walls. But give them a blank canvas and let them work with it. Let them do all the add-ons and over-capitalise should they want to in the future. And again, it's each to their own. So clean, gentle, soft makeover. Because I really don't believe in a lot of cases you are going to get your money back from major renovations. But here's the kicker, Martin. Now, I would say one in 50 would get a pre-built pest and building inspection before they put the property on the market. I've always emphasised to my vendors, you need to do that because there are certain things that, from my background in the building industry, I can pick up. But a lot of agents don't even know that. They don't even know what to look for from a superficial point of view. So it's important to call in the professionals as well, the ones that can tell you what's happening inside the walls, under the house, or even in the roof cavity. It's very important because even I myself, I'll stick my head through the manhole, but that's as far as I go because it's cheaper to call Jim's Pest and Building Inspection and get them to do it. Hey, there's a plug. Make sure you charge them for the free advertising there. But look, it's very, very important. So because you want to know, the last thing you want to do is have you lose hope when you got a great sale and all of a sudden it falls to pieces because the Pest and Building Inspection came in, deficient in one area. And this is what I say to my vendors. Look, for us to fix it right now, fix any issues right now, it may only be hundreds or could even possibly be thousands of dollars. But when a purchaser sees the Pest and Building report, that's just been freshly done, and that becomes an obvious problem in the sale, because it wasn't looked at before. In their minds, and their solicitor or their advisors will be telling them, oh look, it could be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 when you could have got that fixed within a limited budget of $3,000 or $5,000. So eliminate all the objections or as many of the objections as you can before you go to market. That's first. So preparation. Prepare yourself. Pretend you're gonna look at the property as though you are going to rebuy the property. That's what you should be doing. Then there's the presentation. The presentation is what you were alluding to earlier on, and that is the less is more. Declutter. Obviously, because the first impressions count, Martin, and obviously the first time a person, an individual, is going to see the property is going to be online, and it's going to be through the photos. And I've seen some shocking photos, I must say. But you've got to prepare. That's where you're going to be making your first impression. So declutter, prepare it. And look, it doesn't cost a lot to call in a staging company to assist you. It may only be an addition of a few objects here and there. You've got to work within a budget, obviously. And be guided by the professionals. I met some really wonderful people that, in some cases, all they've charged me is a consultancy fee in assisting my vendors, and they've used everything there. It's just that the way it was arranged or organised or decluttered, it made a huge difference. So you engage them, and you can engage them without going through the agency or the real estate agents that generally put a clip on things, that whatever they do. Then obviously then there's the marketing. The marketing campaign has got to be nowadays very, very extensive. If the agent tells you that they're only advertising on domain, or they're only advertising on real estate or REA, well then you got to think twice. You've got to have an agent that looks at both platforms, and that is also advertising on the free platforms. There are a lot of free platforms out there, and they help you. They help your listing with what we all know as search engine optimization, because a lot of people aren't necessarily going to domain and real estate anymore. They're going to Google. So you want your ad to appear in Google, be first cab off the rank in Google. So use as the agent has to use as many of the free platforms available. The paid for domain and REA, and there's 13, 14, 15 other free platforms that you could be on, and as I said, for free. So then of course you got your marketing through Facebook. And that can be a useful tool as well. So preparation, presentation, the marketing campaign, they all have to be comprehensive. But it's a step-by-step process. It's not a costly process, but keep in mind that whatever you're going to spend in any of these three areas, you are going to be benefiting at the end by getting a better and perhaps even a quicker result. And time is of the essence as we speak. Now, if it's an investment property, you've also got to be able to work with your tenants, or the agent that you've chosen needs to work with the tenants. And let me say this, the agent that you may choose doesn't necessarily have to be the property manager, because your tenants might not get along with the property manager, so you're already behind the eight ball. So it makes it very, very difficult. Over the years, we've sold a lot of investment properties, and look, it's a tenanted property. They've got right to be there. They've got all the rights as they're the occupants, and you've got to work with them. You've got to work with them and just throw in some incentives to help the process rather than hinder the process. I don't understand how agencies and agents get offside with the tenants when the property is going to be for sale. It just hinders the process, which hinders the at the end the sale price. Because it's very difficult. You see a lot of cases on when you scroll through the domain or the main portals, and you only see the photographs of the front of the property or the building. Well, you can be assured that something happening. There's a bit of tension, or the tenant didn't want to have things photographed inside. There's something that I don't want to disclose. But look, I think that's basic yet comprehensive. But again, reach out. Happy to. I've put out a number of videos on how you can benefit by just simple cleaning processes. Cleaning of driveways makes a huge difference in a home with concrete driveways and the like.
So what you're saying, Edwin, is that there are simple steps that people can take and should take. And, it doesn't necessarily cost a lot of time or effort, but it can make a huge difference in terms of getting that buyer through the front door and really looking at the property.
Exactly. Look, whether it's a flat market, whether it's a downward trend, upward trend, whatever, agents should be doing this anyway. But you'd be surprised at how many don't.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I've sold a few properties over the years, and in some cases the agents had no idea. So we had to take all of that on board ourselves and essentially go through those processes. And, because the trick is you've got within the first sort of 10 to 15 seconds of somebody coming through the front door, you want them to have a really positive experience and react positively, because as you say, emotion comes first. There might be some logic down the track, but that first, wow, this is a nice place, is a really good thing to do.
Oh, exactly. And, you've got to appeal to all senses. Got to appeal to all senses, and I've even had like I said, there are some videos on a number of my channels as to what people can do. Very low budget stuff without spending a whole heap of money, and it make a huge difference.
I even went to one property where I was actually looking to buy, and they actually had a bread maker running in the background. So you walked in, there was this smell of wonderful fresh bread.
I wrote a book about all the things that happen, or a number of things that have happened to my colleagues and myself with regard to open homes. Where in one particular instance, somebody forgot that they actually had something cooking in the oven, and the whole thing just caught on fire. But anyway, hey, it all happens. Oh, look, whatever works. You've got all those different things, but you've just got to you've got to be on your toes, and just keep in mind you've got to appeal to all the senses. All the senses, and make it as appealing as possible. And it all comes back from as I said, the marketing campaign, because it's the visual impact that you get online is going to help. And look, you've got so much available now. We've got access to video, to drones, to all sorts of wonderful technology that's not necessarily as expensive as what it was 3 years ago. Even.
Edwin, I really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much for that.
As always, thank you very much, Martin. A pleasure.
Thanks, Edwin. So if you are preparing your property for sale, there are some simple tips that Edwin suggests you follow, and it can make a huge difference. And I've put links to some of his earlier videos in the comments below. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.